Tonight, government statistician Professor Samuel Enim is calling for more investments into the statistical service to help provide quality data for decision-making. The government statistician made the call at the launch of Ghana Statistical Service Corporate Plan for 2020 to 2024 in Accra. According to him, activities of the service have often been supported by donor funds, and that has to change.
The Ghana Statistical Service Corporate Plan for 2020 to 2024 is hinged on 5 key goals, including the development of human resource, mobilization of financial resource, full integration of ICT in operations of the Statistical Service, as well as improving the production of statistics and its use for planning. Speaking to Joy Business, government statistician Samuel Enim stressed on the need for more investment to support activities of the service.
We put emphasis on mobilizing resources to conduct our core mandate. Ghana Statistical Service over the period has relied on donor funds in running most of our surveys and censuses. The need to invest in data is at its critical moment, and this is where we're counting on the government to relook at the investments that we put in statistics, because statistics is a national asset, statistics is a treasure. So our core mandates such as inflation, GDP, and all the rudimentary statistics that is needed to run this country has to be identified and accordingly invested into.
President of the International Association for Official Statistics, John Pulinga, says government investing into quality data is crucial for economic development.
If you don't know there are pressures on prices building in the supply chain because commodity prices are going up, you are taken by surprise when suddenly prices at the petrol pumps or prices in the shops are increasing. If the government gets early warning of some of these changes and early warning of the scale of those changes, it can take action. It can take action on interest rates, it can take action on taxation policy, and that's got to be something that's going to help businesses in the future. And prices is just one example. If you're thinking where you want to locate a shop or an office, where are the workers going to come from? How will they get there? Statistics will give you that information also. When you think of it that way, you realise that statistics are really everywhere in our thinking. And the key point is if we improve those statistics, our thinking can also be improved, and then businesses and the government can make better choices.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklu reporting.
The CEO of the Ghana International Trade Fair, Dr. Agnes Edu, says Ghanaian enterprises are improving with packaging and sales at various international fairs. The 24th International Trade Fair is expected to see over 50 local brands exhibit their products. Charles Aite has more in this report.
All is set for the 24th Ghana International Trade Fair, with this year's focus being on value addition and going global. The event, which takes place in Tamale in the northern region, is expected to see over 50 small and medium-scale enterprises display their wares as they get exposed to some investment opportunities and loan facilities. But how has local businesses performed throughout the years under the International Trade Fair? Joy Business has been finding out from the CEO of the Ghana International Trade Fair, Dr. Agnes Edu.
I've seen a lot of improvement in Ghana, made in Ghana, from our normal chocolate to textiles to manufacturing. I've seen packaging take a leap. I mean, I've seen made in Ghana packaging that 4 years ago, people were selling things in clear containers, bacteria. Now you go to stores, you go to farmers markets, popping up all over the place, and made in Ghana manufacturing has become almost to international standard, or even I can say up to international standard.
The trade fair has been structured to advance efforts in ameliorating the value addition policy initiated by the government. The 24th Ghana International Trade Fair is expected to bring together investors, buyers and stakeholders to maintain the agenda of prioritizing made-in-Ghana products. Dr. John Hawkins Asiedo is the Director of Industrial Parks and Special Economic Zone.
The government and the ministry are embarking on value addition initiatives to help our small, medium and large-scale businesses to position themselves to compete favorably with their international partners.
The fair is to widen investment opportunities, particularly in northern Ghana. Activities lined up for the 24th International Trade Fair will include seminars, debates and exhibitions.
Ghanaian businesses would soon be able to list and raise funds from the London Stock Exchange. This follows the signing of a technical partnership program between the Ghana Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. The deal would help develop the Ghana bond market and assist local firms to raise more long-term funds from the international capital market. George Afia has more from the Ghana Investment and Opportunity Summit in London.
To the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, they will not destroy the gains that they've chalked over the past years just because they want to win an election. He maintained that they are committed in putting in place the right business programs, policies and measures to stabilize the environment and also ensure that we improve the business environment for local businesses as well as those foreign capital that we are attracting to the country. Speaking at the same program, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, maintained that they really had to undertake the recent financial sector cleanup to bring about the required confidence in the banking sector.
I think that through the resolution exercise that we went through, resolving banks that were not functioning properly. Today, all the banks that are licensed in Ghana are liquid. There are no issues of customers not being able to access their deposits in the banks. In addition to that, some of the banks that were resolved, the government has had to provide resources to pay out, deposits that were locked up in those weak banks, and the receiver is currently, meeting up with those payments. These things impact people's lives directly, and I think Ghanaians are better off today because of those types of interventions that were put into place.
For many, day one of the Ghana Investment and Opportunity Summit can indeed be described as an interesting one, looking at the deals that we've already signed. One can talk about the London Stock Exchange and the Ghana Stock Exchange partnership that they've reached in terms of technical cooperation and assisting Ghanaian businesses to explore the opportunities of listing on the London Stock Exchange. From the Hilton Hotel here in Park Avenue in London, this is George Afia reporting for Joy Business.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Exim Bank has secured $100 million from International Investment Bank, that Swiss bank, Credit Suisse, to help establish more factories under the One District, One Factory initiative. The loan facility would help extend soft credit to potential firms working to establish industries under the 1D, 1F, as well as complete the existing ones. The agreement was signed in London at the Ghana Investment and Opportunity Summit. Chief Executive of the Exim Bank, Lawrence Agyensam, tells Joy Business they would first target some pharmaceutical firms.
The framers of the Exim Bank, the Act, contemplated that they want to take the burden of government so that the debt of government will be lowered, and rather to be able to promote institutions such as us to be able to go into the international market. So upon just 1 month assuming of office, we started working on those transactions, and today we've been able to chalk the sources.
So where are we getting this facility from?
We are getting it from Credit Suisse. In fact, the initial visit took us to CDC, to Citibank, to JP Morgan, but the risk appetite of Credit Suisse came into the fore, and today we've been able to sign with Credit Suisse.
What would you tell those who say that $100 million, 1D, 1F, that might be peanuts?
We were receiving 0.75 tax, which averages roughly to 4 million Ghana cedis every month. That is what we've used as a backbone to support the One District, One Factory. So receiving $100 million is a big boost for us to be able to complete and make sure that the strategic industries and the anchor industries of this country will be done in the first 4 years of the president. We are going to use some of this money to complete about 7 pharmaceutical companies who are supposed to be WHO compliant by 2020, this year. With that, as I intimated the other time, we'll be able to have about 60% production of pharmaceutical drugs in Ghana. And it will also help us to be able to take Ghanaian companies to the continental food trade. Already, we are in Nigeria, we are in Burkina Faso. And we think that this facility is going to add as a plus. Again, we have a fertilizer blending company That is about 60% to 80% complete in Tema. I made mention of the jute factory in Kumasi. So Kumasi people are going to see the jute factory being completed in record time in this year. So all the 7 legacy factories will be done. About 150 SME, more importantly, what we call about 1 million village community factories will also be completed this year.
Back home, the Ministry of Agric has donated a tractor and other implements to the Nkwanta Senior High School within the OT region to support the school's Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. It is to honor a request made by the headmaster to the president, Akufo-Addo, to help them scale up their farming activities. He said the gesture will help double their capacity in maize and other vegetable production. There's more in this report.
Akufo-Addo earlier promised to offer a tractor to Nkwanta Senior High School to shore up its farming activities. Receiving the implements on behalf of the school, the headmaster, Wisdom Annan, indicated that their production capacity of maize will now double.
The tractor is not only going to help the school, but it is also going to help in the production of food to serve other sister schools around. Actually, we have a lot of land, a vast area of land. Last year we cultivated 5 acres of maize, pepper 1 acre, okra 1 acre, and other vegetables 2 acres. However, as at the end of December, not a single tractor is even in Nkwanta for hiring. So we are even wondering how we could put the land to use by cultivation of crops and other food items for the school and other communities. This year, we are hoping with the aid of this tractor, we are going to cultivate about 10 acres of land for maize and 5 acres for vegetables and 2 acres for other cereals. We also have an irrigation machine which would help us. So we have the hope that we'll put the tractor to good use. We resumed about 3 weeks ago, and the buffer stock has not supplied maize yet. As at now, we are feeding on the production that we had from the school land, especially maize. So it is going to help us. With this, it's going to help us, not only the school, but also help other sister schools around to supply them with maize.
The Deputy OT Regional Minister, Maxwell Blagoji, also requested the expansion of road network to ease the plight of farmers.
We need to open up the road network. That one, the people who have the farmlands there, the people are involved in agriculture, they are producing as much as they can. Once we want to improve upon the production, what we need to do is to make sure that we open up the road network. Once the road network is good, the people are able to get access to credit facilities and be able to increase their farm lands. Then they'll be able to produce more. When they produce more, we have markets for them. We ready market for their product.
Well, moving on, we all have had our experiences of purchasing something and later realizing that it was not exactly what we expected. I guess it becomes even more frustrating if you invested thousands of cedis to purchase a home-used car and have to spend even more for repairs because you couldn't make background checks. That's the challenge startup Kofi Japan hopes to fix with his home-used car service. He's our feature tonight on the Joy Business Van. If ever you wanted to purchase a home-used car, I bet this is what you do. Check an online site for the model you want, arrange to meet the seller at his garage, inspect the vehicle, ask a few questions, get assurances, and then make a decision by an act of faith, hoping you got a good deal. Kofi Japan, like many of us, has been through this experience.
I wanted to buy a car in 2016, somewhere June. So I went to a popular vehicle listing site that we all know, if I can mention it. I went to Tonaton and I searched the vehicle on Tonaton, and fortunately I found one. So I met the guy somewhere. We arranged a meetup I looked at the car, I asked the person, okay, is the vehicle accidented or is it a clean car? And then the answer is straight, it's a clean car. But later on, I checked and the car was accidented.
And that was what motivated the systems auditor to create the service, Home Use Car.
In Ghana, about more than 70%, or let's say 50 to 70% of vehicles will be imported from the US. And I will confidently say that about 70% of the vehicles imported from the US are damaged, because the buyers, or let's say the sellers, want profit. So they'll obviously go for the damaged ones and then repair it up and then sell it to you at the prevailing market price.
That obviously puts the vehicle owner at risk, not to mention the cost that goes into repairs. The service, which is enabled by an app, is not exactly new, but the first of its kind here in Ghana. It took about 2 years to get the essentials ready for the service to be rolled out in March 2019. Data is secured from over 100 companies across the world.
They give us manufacturing information, they give us information about the condition, and they give us regulatory information. So for accident information that maybe you mostly get from our side, we get it from auction companies like IAI, Copart, and a lot of the auction institutions or organizations that are in the US.
Next, we head to the garage to try the app, which is available on iOS and Android devices and also on web.
Made in Canada, starting with the 2. So it means it's made in Canada. And the manufacturers.
This is great stuff. And so if I wanted to purchase a car like this, of course I'd like to know the history of this car, and that's where your app comes in, right? Yeah. So tell me how I can go about it.
Okay, so all you need to do, if you want to check the history of a vehicle, all you need to do is download the app from our platforms, that is Android and iOS. Also on the internet, you can check it from the internet. That is homeusecar.com. On the iOS and then the Android platform, it's also Home Use Car, used car, or Hooker. The Hooker is H-U-C-A. H-U-C-A. If you get that, you just download the app, and then you go ahead right away and then check the history of the vehicle.
All right, so we detect the chassis number, which is this one.
Yeah.
So we are going to input that, and then we are going to get the history of the car.
Yeah.
All right. Once you input the chassis number, you immediately get information, including vehicle accident history, extent of and cause of damage. It also performs damage assessment with 10 images. Once you make payment, the report is delivered to you. Kofi tells me since March 2019, about 2,000 vehicles have been checked through the app, and there are more than 1,000 users, mainly driven by social media. And he gets good feedback too from users.
Our major challenge here is to ensure that we are building the market trust, that people trust that whatever information we are saying it is, or we are giving them, is actually correct and is authentic and is not faked. It's not something that someone sat in his bedroom and drew up some plans to sell, but it is actually the fact. So we needed to make sure that the market trust is built up, and then people believe what we are telling them.
The other challenge is getting information on vehicles from other continents, and acquiring data is expensive. Still, Kofi and his team work around moderate charges and ensuring that at the same time, they're not running at a loss. They're planning to introduce other related services.
What we plan doing for the next couple of years is to contact some of our B2B customers that we think they will use the application, especially for insurance companies. They will use it for detecting fraud and preventing fraud of claims. We want to scale to the other African countries, especially the Nigerian market and Kenya, South Africa, and maybe the Middle East, because the Middle East also import vehicles from the US. So actually we have clients from Nigeria. We also have clients from Dubai, that's UAE. But we intend to do more of the advertisement drive this year and the years to come, and then talk more with the insurance company, advocate that when they are insuring a vehicle, they should check the condition before they insure.
Now though, you saved all the frustration and from unbudgeted expenses. All right, and that's the Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwa. We'll be back same time tomorrow.